So for a little bit of context, I thought I would show you guys my working space before I get started today. I'm going to scrapbook another layout using the This Is Halloween add-on from the Scraptastic Kit Club. And normally I start with a pretty nice clean surface. I know people talk a lot about, do you clean up in between layouts or do you just kind of scrap until there's such a big mess you can't bear it anymore and then clean up? I'm typically a cleaner upper, so I usually do tidy up in between layouts, although this time, as you can see, there's sort of a lot of junk around. This isn't all scrapbooking stuff, but this is stuff from recent layouts. So this is the paper from the This Is Halloween kit, and then I have my new kit right there, which is the new November kit from Scraptastic, and I haven't put it up on my pegboard yet, so I'm sort of in that kind of weird limbo phase where my new kit has come, and usually by the time my new kit comes, I'm just so excited about the new kit that I can't even think about using the old kit anymore, even if I really love it. But I do feel like if I don't scrapbook this last picture of Halloween that I want to get scrapbooked, I'm not going to get it done. So I'm going to push myself to use the This Is Halloween kit, or not the kit, but the add-on, because that's all I got this month. Even though I'm really feeling like I want to use the new November kit, I love this add-on, and I definitely don't want it to wait around until next October to use again. So, and I really have the feeling like there's the family is busy and there's a bunch of stuff coming up that I know I'm going to want to scrap. So I got to get this done. So that's the context for this one. It might be a super quick one. I never know until I get going. So that's where we're starting. Okay, so here I am just with the contents that are left from the This Is Halloween add-on, and I'm just having a look at what photos I have left. My original intent was to use that larger 3.8 by 3.8 square photo of the kids making candy melts for Halloween. I really want to get that one scrapbooked, but as I was looking at this, I really thought our international girls, there are a few photos here of them carving their pumpkins, and the thing that was keeping me from doing this originally, which is just making a 12 by 12 layout about the international girls carving their pumpkins, is that I don't have a nice photo of one of their pumpkins. I only have one of the two. And I just didn't think that the layout would really look complete or feel complete or really be complete unless if I had kind of like the process and then the after photo for both of them. That's where I'm going right now, is I'm kind of having a run. I think I ran upstairs to check and see if Scott might have a photo of Camilla's pumpkin completed, and he didn't, but I ended up having one on my phone that I just sent to the printer. So I have this picture of my daughters, my other daughters, my actual daughters, pumpkins there standing in place of Camilla's. So I have a picture of Camilla carving, a picture of Sophia carving, and then a picture of my daughters. And now here I'm just switching out. That's Camilla's pumpkin. It's not the nicest photo. I really wanted one of it with it all lit up, but anyhow, it is what it is. I just didn't get a picture of Camilla's lit up for whatever reason. I'm checking the size of these photos because I did leave a border on them. I know that they're printed at 2.5 by 2.5, but I left a border, so I wasn't sure exactly how big that would make it. And I want to cut some blocks of paper to go before, like basically on either side of that. And so I'm just cutting 2 strips from this pattern paper that's exclusive to the Scraptastic Kit Club. And I'm doing that so that it'll coordinate with that other pattern, that other layout that I just showed you. These two are going to face each other in my scrapbook. And so I'm just going to go back to making some blocks now that I got those 2 strips in place. And I'm kind of eyeballing it, like it was a weird measurement, and so I didn't really think about, I mean, it was just an approximation that I'm using, so that's why I had to go back and trim up one of those pieces a little bit more. I love this pattern paper from the Scraptastic Kit Club. So far, both of those 2 lighter pattern papers are from the Scraptastic Kit Club, and then that black polka dot paper. Where's that from? I think it might be Authentique. And now this one with the bold stripes is from crepe paper. So this is what my blocks are going to look like. I've got basically 4 blocks across the top and across the bottom, including the photos. And then the strips on the top and the bottom, they were hand cut on the original, on the other layout that this one will be facing, but because the other elements on this layout are cut exactly, I just wanted the top and the bottom strips to be cut exactly as well, so I recut them. And again, I'm using the orange cardstock from the kit. It's the add-on. I'm going to keep calling it the kit, but what I mean is the add-on. And so I'm thinking about using that word Halloween that came in the stickers in the kit as part of my title. And I wanted to call it Canadian Halloween because these girls have not ever experienced a Canadian Halloween or North American Halloween. I mean, the way that we celebrate Halloween is not all that different than the way that the United States does, but we're in Canada, so I'm calling it a Canadian Halloween. These girls are from Europe. One is from Italy and one is from Spain, and they're living with us for the year. The Italian is staying with us until the end of January, and the girl from Spain is staying here until the end of the school year in June, July. So there's Canadian Halloween. I love how those stickers look together. They're both glittery and black, and I like the 2 fonts together too. Thought about stacking them, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I changed my mind. I just wanted to comment here on title placement here. And of course there's no right or wrong, and it looks fine like this, the way that I had it a moment ago with the photos and pattern papers pushed down, and then Canadian Halloween. I typically like my titles to be together instead of one word here and another word elsewhere on the layout. And so this was my first idea, was to do it this way. I just like that. There's nothing wrong with spreading your title out, and from a design perspective, it's a nice way to move your eye through the photos. So that's one reason to do it this way, is because it sort of draws your eye around the layout in a way that it allows you to take in the title and the photos, which is the main part of this layout. There's not going to be a ton of journaling on it. So that's one reason to move it this way. But another reason that I want to move it this way is that it sort of, so from a design perspective, it gives you this diagonal across the page type of a look. And so I really like that about this. So I'm going to go with this as my title placement instead of clumping my title up there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to fast forward and keep on thinking about how I'm going to embellish this layout. So I'm looking at some of the stickers and the enamel shapes that I have and what I'd like to get on this page. I want to use this thicker font that's in the chunky orange glitter. I really want that to make it onto the page, and I thought putting the year would be a good way to use that font. I want it on the page because it's on the page that's going to face it. So it kind of helps to coordinate the 2 pages together by bringing some elements across the page from one page to the other. It's not a double layout at all, but I do want them to look nice together. I'm just picking out any relevant word stickers here. This is a set of word stickers from Authentique that came in the kit. And I picked out jack-o'-lantern and carving and pumpkin and wow and scary, creepy, those sorts of words. A lot of them have to do with costumes and trick-or-treating and those sorts of things, so I just left those ones on the page. I'm just picking out the ones that might be relevant to this particular project. So there they are right there. And now I'm having a look at this 12 by 12 set of stickers from Authentique. And before I go much further, I decide I better start sticking down these elements because I know where they're going to go now. So I'm going to start by outlining them. Just using a quick double outline around all of the shapes, or along all of the edges. And what this does is it just brings the papers together. It makes them look like they belong together and belong in that line. And it finishes them off a little bit. So there we go. And now I'm just using my Tombow adhesive, Tombow Mono tape runner to glue all of these pieces in place the way that I had them set out. And before I go and do the second line, I'm just going to make sure that the first line is all lined up. So I think it was exactly 8 centimeters from the top of the page to the top of the papers and photos. And if I make the bottom based on the top, it should be perfect as well. It's pretty close to perfect. It's not exact, but it's as exact as I need it to be to look pretty much even. I'm using my tiny attacher to put these strips in place. I did that on the other page, so that's another thing that repeats from one page to the other. Have to refill my little tiny attacher with the tiny mini staples. And now I'm going to want the C on Canadian to be overhanging a little bit to the left, that polka dotted piece of paper that it's above. I want that because it's, again, kind of going to add to the diagonal effect of this layout. So there's the word Canadian. That font really reminds me of a font that I had on my Slice die cut machine way back years and years ago. My Slice machine was the very first expensive scrapbooking supply that I bought, or expensive tool that I bought. I think it was $100, and it was like a huge investment because I was a pretty new scrapbooker. And that font reminds me so much of one of the fonts on the Slice. It isn't even funny. Takes me back. So you saw me just put that Halloween down. I needed it so that the L's were going to fit and not overlap. I want it all on the orange paper, not overlapping onto the paper, the pattern paper and the photos, just because the word Canadian doesn't, so I don't want the word Halloween to. And I'm going to decorate with some of these stickers. I'm changing my mind about putting those pumpkins there. I decided instead to use this really kind of fun looking jack-o'-lantern instead of the plain pumpkins there. Just fixing my letters a little bit and looking for what else on this sheet of stickers I might want to put. I really want to use this cat. Camilla is a big fan of cats, so it's on the side of the page that Camilla's working and beside her pumpkin. And now I'm taking the letter, it's phrase stickers or word stickers from Authentique that spell out Jack-O-Lantern. So there we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. And now I'm just looking at these Authentique stickers to see if there's anything else I can put. I'm putting Frightful right there, and then I'm just going to put a little enamel dot right on top of it. I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do in terms of, I think I want to put my journaling on that pumpkin paper, and sorry that I forgot to zoom out here. There we go. So I'm putting that Be Scary right above the jack-o'-lantern, and I'm going to put October 31st right under the year, and hanging off the block a little bit. And then that one says Perfect Pumpkin. And I'm making some of these stickers hang out over the edges of the blocks that they're on, just for added interest. I'm going to use this sticker strip here, and I didn't realize it, but I'm actually putting it on the page upside down. A little bit later on, I'll notice that and change it. So I'm going to use this cut apart as a journaling piece, but I don't need the whole thing. And I sort of struggle with this because I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to put in the journaling. So I started with Sophia carved an eyeball. Hang on, I'll check it. It says, the bottom line says Sophia carved a creepy eyeball, and then I added Camilla carved her own character, comma, and that's right above that. And then it was their first time carving pumpkins. And so it's kind of like a crazy pieced together bit of journaling. It doesn't really matter. It gets my message across. It doesn't need to be perfect. And I just wanted it to end at the right place. So I wish I had put eyeball centered on that line, that last line of journaling, but it's okay. And now I want this to stand out a little bit from the background paper, so I just matted it with that dark paper with the polka dots. That's from Authentique, I believe, with the spider webs on the other side. And I still haven't noticed that sticker is upside down. At some point I'm going to. Here we go. And I'm like, oh crap, that's backwards or upside down. So I'm very, very carefully prying it off of the papers, flipping it around and trying to put it back in exactly the same spot it was in because I liked it there. And now I'll just layer that. And I used pop dots just to give that journaling piece a little bit of extra interest and emphasis. So I'm putting carve pumpkins down there, and then that one up at the top says creepy. And now this one says October 31st, and I'm hanging it off the edge, and then I'm going to put the year in those thickers. It looks about done. I can't remember if I add anything else. Oh, I'm going to put some enamel dots. 3 of them down here in the corner of this journaling piece. And 1 up there, just for good measure. Or 2 up there, sorry, just for good measure. Going to trim off that sticker that hangs over a little bit. And I'm just going to take my glue pen. This is a Zig 2-way glue pen. It's called 2-way because I just had to get the glue moving in it. It was not, you just press on it and it gets the glue liquidy and smooth and moving. So it's called 2-way because if you use it right away, it's permanent glue, but if you let it gum up a little bit, it's temporary glue. So here are the close-ups. I'm going to try to put some pictures in this, but the pictures aren't showing up in my photo app, so hopefully they'll be there. If they are, enjoy, and thanks for watching. Have a great scrappy week. Okay, here are the photos. I managed to get it figured out. Sorry they're not the quality they usually are. I had to take them with my iPhone, and then the Ken Burns effect works a little strange. Anyhow, thanks for hanging in there and checking out these photos as well as the process, and have a great scrappy week.